Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest geeky news of the week. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me is my wonderful co-host, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hey, everybody.
Apologies for the late start. Discord sucks, voice meter sucks, Windows sucks, everything sucks.
And I can hear myself in your Sean.
Jesus Christ. I don't have a fix, and we're already a half hour late, so I don't know. I don't
This
know,
will be fun.
because all of this stuff works, and then suddenly it doesn't whenever I restart my computer. So if there are any audio engineers in the audience, please help, because I am tired of dealing with this on a regular basis. And it seems like every time I fix things, they break. So yeah. And I'm at the point where it sounds like even having all the software that's supposed to fix everything no longer works. So why bother? So yeah. Yeah, sorry if I'm a bit hesitant. This is also coming on top of, just this past 2 weeks or week or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, which yeah, just has been infuriating for me. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
agree with that.
and now I can barely hear you, Courtney.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Um, actually, are you even coming in? Can you talk?
Well, let's see.
Oh yeah, you are coming in. You're just quiet.
Okay.
Um, but I can fix that. There. All right. But enough of that. Let's just get into quickfire news.
Yes.
All right. So ironically, another thing that's irritating me is Discovery Plus joins the streaming race with its own subscription service. Uh, because apparently the service that they already had, where you could get for free with if you had a cable subscription, is no longer
Mhm.
good enough, and they've stopped supporting it. So now you have to pay to get all their stuff now. And they've been pushing it hardcore.
Oh,
So
yeah, no, I get ads for it all the time. Uh, and it really kind of it always catches me and I always end up liking the ad because it has A Million Dreams as the song for it. And I'm like, "Okay, I wanna hear the song. I don't care about the Discovery Plus shows. Just give me the song."
yeah. Um, one thing of note is no idea how this interacts with Food Network Kitchen,
Mhm.
which is an entirely separate app that, at least up until now, also had Food Network shows on it.
Hmm.
And that's also paid, but it also includes like cooking classes and stuff. So yeah, no idea how that's gonna affect the two. Um, but yeah, we have not picked it up. Um, and in fact, we have been kind of reevaluating what streaming services we want or whether to cut the cord for cable. Um, but yeah, we realized we didn't actually save all that much by cutting. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's very frustrating.
Well, so heading right on, don't go away on me, notes. Um, Krystina Arielle will be hosting the High Republic show, coming out. It is going to be a bi-monthly behind-the-scenes show for Star Wars. I'm
Yep.
assuming this is going directly to Disney Plus?
This is gonna be on YouTube.
Oh!
Yeah, I mean it'll probably be on Disney Plus, but it'll
Yeah.
be on YouTube, on the Star Wars YouTube channel and the Star Wars website. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, the High Republic show will be on Disney Plus. Um, and then will be sort of like a behind. It'll be like behind the scenes content and interviews and stuff like that.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Fun, fun. Just
Uh,
all the Star Wars.
yes. Well, sort of. It'll be for one specific show.
Yeah.
Um, next up, Slay the Spire is going to be made into a board game by Contention Games. They are going to start a Kickstarter campaign to fund it, launching spring 2021. So fans of Slay the Spire know that, and anybody that's familiar with it know this is a deck building roguelike. So you play as a character, you are trying to climb the spire. So there's like three or four different levels. Um, you start out with a basic deck that you use to play attacks during your turn or skills during your turn. And it's all about like refining that deck and getting relics and building stuff and everything. Um, so this will be made into a physical product. Because right now it's like on Steam, mobile, Switch, other consoles. Um, so yeah, I think it lends itself well to being like a board slash card game. But we'll see. I'd imagine that there's going to be a lot of pieces to it.
Mm, sorry, folks. It's been a day. Um, so there is a demo out right now for Monster Hunter Rise. It is available until February 1st. So, and Sean, you've done a little bit of playing of that demo.
Yeah, so I have parts 1 and 2 up of my demo series on YouTube and Twitch. So playing through that, it's you are given pre-generated characters, um, just as a way to like test things out, to play in like the first area, and they give you like 2 starter quests and then 2 like monster hunts. Um, Additionally, you are limited to 30 monster hunts. So if you do that 30 before February 1st, like you're done. It's just the
Interesting.
demo's going to get pulled from the eShop on the first. So it is coming out March 26th, so there's not a whole lot of time to wait after that.
Mhm.
But yeah, we could talk a little bit more on it on the deep dive. So starting January 14th, which or
15th,
yeah, nope, it's January 14th,
Thursday.
which is Thursday or tomorrow if you're watching the live stream. Um,
Hmm.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, is coming out for digital, but Limited Run Games has also said they will have physical editions available for pre-order starting January 15th. And so this is, as per the name, will be a limited run. They have different like tiers available. Um,
Yes, I've actually taken a look at what those different tiers are,
yeah,
if I can find them,
so I
because
think this might actually be worth doing considering how the game like got suddenly pulled from digital storefronts the last time.
yeah, it's interesting. Jay and I were just talking before podcast about how I basically talked him into getting a physical copy, uh, because it was pulled so abruptly last time.
Yeah,
Um, it actually asked him, I'm like, "There, do you want like just the regular at 35?" But because there's also a retro boxed variant, which is 55, and it comes with a sticker sheet featuring art from the game, physical soundtrack CD, uh, featuring music by Anna Managuchi, the Clash of Demon Head commemorative concert ticket, and an overworld map. And then if you're super extra, you can get the special KO edition bundles for 140. uh, which has a premium hardshell roadie case, which has pop-up figures of Scott and the Sex Bob-omb, in concert. It's really cute on the, Game Informer website. Um, and there's, like, lights that work on it. There's the, um, hardshell clam case, the commemorative concert ticket, a hardcover Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game guidebook, a CD and cassette original soundtrack, full-size wooden drumsticks featuring "Don't you go away from me." Sorry. Um, featuring, game art, 3 Sex Bomb guitar picks, one of each light, medium, and heavy, um, Scott Pilgrim loading screen enamel pin, premium high gloss foil, 7 Evil X's trading card set, and 2 sticker sheets, all for $140.
Yeah, I think that's a
That's
bit
a lot.
much, but I'm sure there's collectors that are going to be into that.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah. All right. Next up, Ask Iwata. So this is a book that Nintendo has put out. Thus far, it's only been in Japan, but it's been um, sort of widely asked for to have a Western release. Um, just it has like words of wisdom and um, comments and
Mhm,
stories about Mr. Iwata, who was the former or the late president
mhm.
of Nintendo. Um, that is going to be published in English, going on sale April 13th. So,
Nice.
um, yeah, I think it should be a good read for anybody. As Iwata started out at Nintendo as a developer and rose through the ranks to eventually become president, and like never lost sight of that. Um,
Mhm,
and he was good friends with Shigeru Miyamoto. And so the two of them often, would bounce ideas off of each other and get a feel for how to run things at the
mhm.
company. Um, so yeah,
Nice. Well, speaking of Nintendo, I actually have gotten to see pictures of this. There is a Gengar futon,
they
quote
call it a
unquote.
futon, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Um, yep, that has the giant rollable tongue. That is with the part that you lay on and you actually stick your head in Gengar's mouth. Um, those have been made and sold out. I've also recently seen Metapod sleep sacks where you can be, like, sitting up in them and zip yourself in all the way.
Okay,
I've recently seen those as well. But yeah, those straight up sold out, and I am not surprised.
yeah,
Um,
so this
so
Gengar is big enough, and it's almost set up
it's like a
like
sleeping bag.
Gigantamax Gengar, where Gengar is basically like sitting and just has a giant open mouth. And there's all sorts of photos of like people just like lying face down on the ground with their head like in Gengar's mouth. So
I mean,
that's just
yeah.
including that for the weirdness factor.
Um, yeah, and with that also, Pokemon will be teaming up with Katy Perry for their 25th anniversary celebration. Can't believe
Yeah, they just announced that
oh,
today.
yeah,
So
that'll be
um
interesting.
really I kind of threw that in there. I didn't quite look at the details if it's going to be like an album of all the music from the anime. So if we're going to get things like the original theme and like Road to Viridian City and stuff like that sung by Katy Perry, maybe a polka rap by Katy Perry. Who knows?
I mean, it is Katy Perry, so it could practically be anything.
Um, well,
I mean,
so Lavender Town didn't have a vocal track though in the animated series.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking about as well. I'm like, which some of them
I
do
mean,
have
so I will
vocals.
say Lavender Town
I would
is
imagine,
the most
to be very
remixed
yeah,
song that remixers cover, um, just because of the spooky theme,
yeah.
but um, they didn't have a vocal track
If
in
I
the
had to
anime.
guess, to be honest, I would assume that it would be a ad campaign. Um,
It might be. I was thinking
yeah,
it might be an album. You know that I mean that would make the most sense, like a
you're
25th
expecting
anniversary
this to
album.
make sense.
What's that?
You're expecting this to make sense?
Uh, I mean, I don't know. Nothing Pokemon does makes sense
There we
anymore.
go. There we go.
And I say that from well, I'm coming at it from Game Freak. Nothing Game Freak does really makes that much sense anymore. Pokemon's just merchandising all the time.
Yes.
But yeah. And the
I mean,
last up,
I
so
have a yeah, I have lots of Pokemons.
yeah. Last up, we got a trailer this week for Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. The new trailer showing content from Bowser's Fury with Rage Bowser and Mario teaming up with Bowser Jr. to take him down. Seems like Bowser gets a hold of something and starts going out of control. Um, those levels look a little bit more open world than Super Mario 3D World, which was like it was 3D, but the stages were still linearly designed. Like they had a start point
Mhm.
and an end point. Um, and these look a little more uh where you're able to like meander around a bit, almost like Odyssey. Um,
Yeah.
uh, so apparently his title in Japan is Godslayer Bowser. That makes a lot of sense. Uh, we're getting into some Xeno territory in there. Um, and apparently Mario gets some kind of super cat bell and turns into super cat Saiyan Mario,
See, I'm
or
imagining
well,
it's like
super
cat
cat kaiju
bell.
Saiyan Mario, because he turns into giant cat with a lion mane.
Okay, so it's not like a bell kind of big orange bell collar
Well,
type of
no, the
thing.
power up item is a bell. It's literally like a bell fruit.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, is it a separate bell or is it like on the collar kind of
No,
cat bell?
no, it's
Okay.
to represent that, but
Yeah.
yeah. I think the cat suits do have collar bells though. Um, but yeah, so that's interesting. That comes out next month. Um,
Nice.
Super Mario 3D World was a great game. Um, and the fact that they're adding on extra content to it. Again, it'll be sold for full retail price. So if you're a Wii U owner, you know, I mean, technically you could get it for $20 without this extra DLC, basically, or this extra content.
But you want the extra content.
But I mean, if you don't, if you're one of the 100 millions of Switch owners that don't own a Wii U, it's definitely a great package deal.
Yeah.
So, all right, that is going to wrap up our quickfire news for the week. So let's get into a little bit of a shorter. We'll call it a not quite so deep dive, so that
A
we can.
shallow dive?
Well, because you're not supposed to dive into the shallow end of the pool, so. But that said, here we go. All right, so in the scramble, we didn't really have anything planned for the deep dive, so I just threw stuff in there. Um, but one of the common things has been 2021 predictions. on other podcasts. Um, Either this as a possible topic, I have no idea. I think it's too difficult to make any predictions until we figure out what's going on with COVID and get that under control. Because otherwise, then the predictions are nothing gets done. Like,
Yeah. Like, no conventions, no A, B, C, X, Y, Z.
yeah, or
Like,
it's very difficult to have positive predictions because I mean,
yeah.
yeah, predictions are no conventions for 2021 because you'd have to start.
See, I'm
You would have had to start planning them like last fall, and nobody was. I don't think anybody was realistically doing that. I don't. I just don't think that was happening.
I don't know.
Or
I
if
am
they
walking
were,
into 2021 very, very cautiously.
everything was so tentative that it's like that nobody's guaranteed to actually make any money.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um, so I don't know.
I've been I've been walking into 2021 very cautiously, very quietly, and I'm trying not to make any sudden movements
Well, yeah,
because gestures vaguely to the state of the world.
yeah,
Um
or at least just the state of the U.S.
yeah, well, considering we're stuck here, um
Yes.
cuz nobody will
uh,
let us go anywhere else.
yes.
Um
So, um,
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
And as Jay says, sudden movements keep hurting me. Yes, they do.
yes, they do. I mean, I thought that's what you were talking about, but um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any great predictions. Um,
Like predictions versus like it's not really resolutions, but it's kind of like goals of like we have two different sets of what can happen
well,
here.
no, no. So these aren't. I mean, these aren't resolutions. These are like predictions of
Yeah.
what the industry might, of what various industries might do. Um, I mean, predictions I have. Uh,
There's the two worlds of if this gets t- under control, let's say, and if it doesn't.
yeah, but then
If
you're
it
getting into
doesn't,
too
just
many
the world
predictions
continues to
because then
stop.
you have to have a duplicate set of everything. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, basically, like, so here's the thing: when's Black Widow supposed to come out? Is it supposed to be next month? Because if so, that's not happening.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think I think all those Disney films that got pushed to this year, um, I would say, so here's a prediction, are either going to just get pushed to 2022 or
Hmm.
they're just going to get a Disney Plus release.
I would guess that that is more accurate. I would guess that getting a Disney Plus release is going to be the way that they're gonna go.
Or they're gonna do, you know, the weird Warner Brothers like, we'll release in theaters, but it's also going directly to streaming. Um, Disney has not mentioned that they're gonna take that route yet. I think
Yeah,
Disney's
I
very
think that Disney
wary
learned their
of,
lesson with the Mulan
well, I think
premium.
they're very wary of upsetting movie chains
Mhm.
and movie theaters. At least the bigger ones. I don't think they really care all that much about independent movie theaters. Um,
Yeah.
Unless somehow they bring in, you know, the same amount of money that like an AMC would.
Hmm.
Um, which I know around here that that's not the case, but so yeah. I mean, as far as Nintendo, oh excuse me, or other, you know, video game predictions, I don't know.
I think it's
I would have, I
interesting
normally I
because
would have said we'd get Breath of the Wild 2 this year, but who knows?
wait a second, I saw something about Breath of the Wild like a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember it now, but I
Was
know I
it?
saw something about Breath of the Wild too.
I mean, oh, Breath of the Wild 2. I was gonna say, are you? Is
Mhm.
it something about Hyrule Warriors?
No, because that's coming out too.
That's already out.
Um, or yeah. Um, yeah, according to techradar.com, um, 2021, it's a blah blah blah. Yeah, they're still not saying fully.
Yeah, no. Um, I've also heard speculation on like maybe we get something regarding Metroid Prime 4. I don't know. I don't know what is. Nobody knows what's happening with Metroid Prime 4. Nobody. There's been nothing after like I feel like it was when the Switch launched. They showed that logo and basically since then they've had to like completely scrap all progress and restart. Um and they moved it to so that Retro was working on it. Um and yeah, nobody knows. Um I have a feeling Metroid Prime 4 is going to be Nintendo's version of The Last Guardian. So for those that don't know, The Last Guardian is infamous for a game that like nobody ever thought was actually going to get finished and made for PlayStation. And I think it was supposed to be an early PS3 game, and then like didn't have no. It was something where it was like one of the last games I think to come out on PS3. Maybe
Mhm.
I want to say, um, but it was like a decade in development or something.
Oh,
Um,
that's a long.
So it was announced at E3 2009 with a planned release in 2011 for the PS3. It was reintroduced at E3 2015. Um, it was finally released at the end of 2016. So that's what it was. Was it was supposed to be an early PS3 title,
Yeah.
and then it was ended up releasing on the PS4. All right, so 7 years later, 5 years after it was supposed to have initially come out.
Oh,
Um,
that game.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Jay just
Um,
sent me a picture of the
Duke
title
Nukem
of the
Forever is another
cover.
example. StarCraft Ghost never did and never actually came out ever, so not an example. Um, uh, but the same sentiment. I think it'll actually get there and it'll get finished. Um, but you know, who knows? Oh yeah, and Final Fantasy 15. Yeah. Uh, and Final Fantasy 7 remake. Right? Like
Wait, don't
that
we
took
still have to get
forever.
part 2 of one of those remakes?
Well, that it's we got part Final Fantasy 7 remake is part 1.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any news on when we're supposed to get part 2 ever?
Um, I don't know. Who knows? Okay, so
Wasn't
the
sure
remake
if you.
took technically took 5 years, which is
Yeah.
still a long time.
Yeah.
The good news is part two will like because they already have the engine, and that takes a lot of time to get
Yeah,
set up.
getting it up and going
And that takes
and
like a bulk of the work. So and I mean, we also don't know if it's going to stay consistent with the original game or if they're going to decide to just go off in completely new directions and have to do all new writing and lines and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um,
No, I just wasn't sure if it was in production yet already, like,
oh yes,
you
yeah,
know.
it's definitely in production.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if it was, like, put on hold because of the world.
Um, I mean, no more so than every other project.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um,
But
yeah, yeah. That I mean, I don't know.
it's yeah, it's It's been a couple of weeks is what.
Yeah. I mean, it's also, again, outside of, like the little, stuff that I've found and picked for like the news,
Yeah.
it's also still, January is not a great month typically for news and speculation and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Well,
just,
then let's talk about what we've done.
yeah. Let's get right into quest log. All right, so quest log is we talk about what has been on our to-do lists, what we got done, what we'd like to get done. Uh, Courtney, would you like to go first and give us an update on your ostriches?
Yes. So I'm still not there yet. I'm still getting close though. Um I was just playing a little earlier today. I'm around day 13 of winter 2. I finished the community center and the boat repairs, so I have made it to Ginger Island. Yay. Oh my goodness, yay. I was so excited. Um there's a lot to do, but I'm very much a person who had guidebooks for games. I'm in love with the Stardew Wiki. Like, the Stardew Valley Wiki is very, very helpful for me because as much as I enjoy playing the game, some of the more puzzly parts, let's put it that way. Um,
I mean, it's also there's enough fiddly bits in Stardew that you kind like you need a resource like that. Um,
yes.
one thing I wish is that the wiki would kind of get its technical stuff sorted out because it's been down uh at least half the time over the past week or so.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Hasn't been down for me at all.
How are you accessing it? What I mean is like on what
From my
device?
phone?
Yeah. So phones and other mobile devices seem fine. If you try and access it on desktops and stuff, like antivirus software is blocking it. So
Ah,
and and um and Concerned Ape has mentioned it also that like yeah,
okay.
we know there's issues with the wiki, it's having some sort of technical problems and yeah, so
Yeah, so that might be yes, because I only
yep,
have one screen. I have one screen.
yeah,
Stardew goes on the screen and Wiki goes on the phone.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, it's also not that it
that
matters because if you try and play like, one screen has wiki, one screen has the game, um you can't like unlike other games in full screen mode, like World of Warcraft, uh if like you go to click on something that's outside of the screen, it just like auto minimizes it. It doesn't keep it open
oh,
for the game. Yeah, it's weird and odd.
hmm.
So
But yes, so I did a lot of mining to get enough iridium ore for the anchor to be fixed. I just straight up made a whole bunch of lightning rods for all the battery packs. And then I needed a whole bunch of hardwood to fix the boat to get to the Ginger Island. So I did that. Um, so I've taken a lot of screenshots and I need to figure out how to share those from Steam. But um, like things that I have seen tiger slimes, fire sprites, and walnut hungry parrots. Parrots everywhere.
hmm,
Um, there's also some really cool quests on the island that interact and overlap with um, things in the valley and things in the island. Like, are you are interacting with both of them to finish some of these quests, which is really cool. Um, Also, I have enough points to pass Grandpa's evaluation to get the Statue of Perfection at the start of year 3 because I went money, y'all. I go money.
Yeah,
It's
Courtney
7 points to
Courtney
get a million.
is a reigning gold champ of Stardew Valley.
Yes. Next purchase goal is the return scepter.
Now
Um,
that's to allow you to just port back to your
home.
farm's warp point anytime, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And it's really nice some days when I'm being really lazy and I'm down at the traveling cart and I'm just like, I just want to go home. Just go.
I can tell you right now, uh, if you're like me and you started a playthrough on the beach farm, it's indispensable because that farm is somehow bigger than the other ones. It at least feels like it occupies a much larger space than the other ones.
Yeah.
Um,
No, this was actually on my base farm. Um, from my very first Steam playthrough. Like I started on like day 4 or something of spring
yeah,
with this playthrough. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to be able to get the Statue of Perfection, which will be an immediate influx of iridium, so I can get more, make more bars, make more iridium sprinklers, and all of that. Um, and I have strawberries and ancient fruit growing in the greenhouse. Um, and then there's some things. There's a couple of things that I don't know if I talked about last week, but these are some newer things. Um, John, you were surprised last night to learn that the garbage can be upgraded.
yeah. So I haven't played in a while, and
Mhm.
I've missed a bunch of stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, the
that
fact
came
that
in
I
1.4.
was in fact worried that so normally when you upgrade a tool, um, what's his name? You know, the
Clint.
black Clint takes your tool and you can't use it. So I was afraid
Mhm.
that like when you upgrade your trash can, he was going to take the trash can out of the menu to prevent you from trashing stuff. I'm glad that
Nope.
does not happen.
Mhm. Um, oh, if you haven't been on since 1.4, then you don't know about the night market either.
Um, yeah, I've never done the night market. I remember we covered it when it was first released.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't want to know anything about it until I get there.
Okay. It is
So,
in winter.
meh, meh.
That is all I'm
Um,
gonna say then.
so yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I have gotten a couple of mini shipping crates. One from Lewis and one from Pierre, which are really cool because they have 9 slots in them, and they are gathered at the end of the day, as well as your shipping crate at home, which obviously has unlimited spots, and you can just keep throwing stuff in there forever. Um, but the mini shipping crates have space for 9 stacks of items. Um, and so you can put those up in different places within the valley. Um, and be able to like I have one outside of the I have it next to the new um bigger community quest things. I have it right next to there. Um so that when I go to the beach and I get all of that stuff, I can immediately put it in there to ship. Um which is very helpful. And I have a computer. There's an awesome computer
Hmm,
that you can make.
okay.
This computer tells you things like if there are crops ready in the greenhouse, how many machines, as in like is your recycling machine going, crystallariums, uh, uh, your furnaces, any taps, anything like that. Um, so if you have any of those kind of going, you are able to know, okay, how many machines are ready? How many crops do I have ready?
Hmm,
How many open tilled pieces of soil do you have on your farm, which is just not seeds planted in there? And how many crops do you have planted and how many crops are ready to be gathered?
hmm,
It also will let you know if the uh, Cave has fruit or mushrooms in it. Um, and it's really, really great little resource to have because I really, really stink at like remembering to check the greenhouse. And
Yeah.
so now I just do that every day. And it's very, very quick to do. It's a really nice added
Well, I think you can move the
product.
greenhouse now too, right?
Huh?
Wasn't there a thing added in where you can move the greenhouse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So once
So it
you
sounds like
build
you
the
should just put it right
greenhouse,
next to your house.
no, I actually put it cave, coop, greenhouse, barn, all right up against that cliff with grandpa's statue area on the far left. I'm also growing a mushroom tree farm in front of my greenhouse because I got that. Huh, I got that. I got the 1% chance of having a stone owl, like just statue randomly show up.
Hmm.
And I had the 1% chance of a strange capsule showing up. Um, so I
Wait, I
had
think I have
both
a
of
stone
those.
owl in my new playthrough
Yeah,
already.
it's a 1% chance. If certain things are, if certain squares are empty, um, at
Oh,
night. Yeah, I have also been putting taps on my mushroom trees. So like I'll always get at least one mushroom. I have to make more taps.
hmm.
But um but yeah, so I'm doing a lot of that. The only issue that I'm coming up to right now is timing on Ginger Island because until you complete certain quests and certain yeah, quests. I have no other word right there. Um you can't spend the night on the island. Willie will get you home, um, but you cannot spend the night on the island until you complete a few other tasks. Also, I've had to learn how to use a slingshot. I've never actually used that before.
Oh,
I mean, it's not that hard now that I've
eh,
actually used it, but
nah,
I had to use it.
eh,
So,
whatever.
but yeah, one of the really nice things is that you can move the greenhouse once it's done, um, which is very nice.
Hmm.
You can also Robin will also change the layout of your house. You can remove you can remove the crib, you can remove the kids' beds in the nursery, quote unquote. You can add two different rooms, you can remove different like
Hmm.
support walls is what they are. But this is a video game, so aesthetics, who cares? Um, but yeah, you can add a bunch of different things for totally for free. Like
Cool.
adding the different rooms and taking off different rooms and stuff like that. And then you always have the option to buy a crib or buy a child's bed again. But no.
I mean, the game has a wizard, a witch, a dwarf, a Krobus,
Gnomes.
mutant carp, um, and all sorts of other magical beings.
Mhm.
I'm sure it has magic beams.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's the whole thing about Robin is she's actually an arcane caster. Um and just you notice that she's always in the same place because she's just doing a ritual and then it just happens.
no, she's just using magical materials. That's all. She is just a humble carpenter that manages to find high quality materials. And by find, I mean
but
she outsources that task to you.
but yeah, so
It costs
I
so much
am
money to build anything in that game, and you
Mhm.
are also supplying all of the materials on top of that.
Well, to add the cellar, you only need to give her 100,000 and no supplies.
It took me
Sean, a light a
a
light
season and a
day
half
of
of in-game
earning gold
time.
for me is under 2K.
It took me a season and a half of in-game time just to have enough money to buy the 3rd tier backpack or the top tier backpack, whatever.
I got
Like
it before
I
school was
have to choose
done.
between the backpack, upgrading the house, and the upgraded fishing rod because I don't have enough
I
money
got
to do all 3. Moral of the story, folks,
I
is
upgraded the
the beach is not great. The beach farm is not great. It's
well, especially
interesting.
when fishing is so hard when you start out.
I had no problem with it. The problem is you don't catch good fish there, and they're also not ocean fish.
Oh.
No, they're river fish.
Oh, even with the little pop down in the bottom left corner?
As far as I know, it's like river and pond fish.
Yeah, no, there's a little, to the left on your farm, if you're
No,
looking at
I
it,
know.
um, there's a little tunnel that's kind of, "hidden," quote, unquote, and it'll lead you to a tiny little one plot area where you can do ocean fish.
Okay, well that's silly because
Try
it
that.
takes you an hour to get there in-game time.
It's on your farm.
Thus, I maintain my position that Forest Farm is the best farm. I can't buy a horse, errant engineer. I don't I don't have the axe to get the hardwood to build the stable because I have no money.
Again,
I have
you
no money and
guys
I have no iron. And actually even for that you need gold.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah, because it takes so long to get anywhere. I don't have any time to go to the mines.
See, that's when you gotta, like, just take certain days and plan it out. You gotta
I
schedule
can't.
this
There's too
stuff,
much to
Sean.
do. I can't do sprinklers. And it's summer. It never rains.
Oh, you just can't do sprinklers, that's right.
Right. And in order to make money through farming, you have to have a giant crop field. And if you have a
Yes, you
giant
do.
crop field, you have to spend like 3 hours of your morning watering crops.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Unless you plant rice.
It's summer. Rice doesn't grow in summer. It grows only in spring.
That's right.
Yeah. I
I
found
got
plenty of
nothing.
rice after spring had ended.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's also not that profitable, but
Yeah. I have been relying on villagers to uh, gift me food items that I need for the community center. Like Linus gives you a maki roll because I can't cook
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
So, all right. Uh, why don't we get onto my
But
goals before this
yes, why don't we get
we
onto your goals?
ramble
So
on too long?
I'm still making progress towards
Okay.
ostriches. I just need to get an egg now.
Yeah.
Because I have to just
Um.
get an egg.
All right. So this is gonna be quick. I
Yeah,
have not
sure.
worked on any item icons for Gloria and Pie Cake because I have been trying to get 2 chapter 1 comics colored each week. So assuming that I can keep to that, uh, I should have my goal of getting that done by the end of the year because it'll take 30 weeks then instead of 70 weeks. Uh, so so there is that. So progress is being made. And
Good.
upgrading the Queen's Conservatory in World of Warcraft, grinding anima in that game is taking forever if you don't raid and if you don't just run dungeons all the time. Because you are at the mercy of trying to get it from world quests, and it takes forever because you need 5,000, and a given
Ugh.
world quest might give you 70. So it's a lot.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot.
Um, and it's the fact that like when I want to play Warcraft, I want to have like a big stretch of time. Um, in order to like get everything done. And like during the week, I just haven't had that stretch anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been focusing on playing shorter games or doing like more low key stuff like Stardew or whatever during the week. Um, so there's that. Uh, so scheduling note. This week, streams will be Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, because that is what received the most votes in the poll. As a reminder, Twitch subscribers and all patrons on Patreon have access to the weekly poll for what games get played. So be sure to check that out. So even though the poll is still technically open, I do need time to update the schedule before those streams are live. Um, so that'll be on Friday and Saturday because Critical Role is coming back this week. So,
Woo!
woo! But also that means I'm not really incentivized to stream on Thursday nights then because it's a very crowded stream schedule among all the people that are streaming on Thursdays. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so that's it. So we did get pretty close to an hour. Sorry for the late start. Again, software is not cooperating and Discord's just a butt like all the time. So
Yeah,
shame
I
on you,
concur.
Discord. So I'm going to continue to try and figure this stuff out. Um, but yeah. If you want to find more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8-bitadventures.com. Over there, you can find comics, podcasts, streams, artwork, and more. If you want to help support that content, please consider either becoming a patron over at patreon.com/8bitadventures or subscribing right here on Twitch. As I stated before, becoming either of those give you access to the weekly poll where you can vote on what games get played.
And
But patrons,
you get a very easy email sent directly to your inbox.
you
You
do.
click it, and it takes 3 clicks.
Yeah.
1 to get to the survey, 1 to make your vote, and 1 to submit it.
Yep. One thing to note is if you fall under both categories, you still only get one vote. So
Yeah,
no doubling up there, Courtney. Uh, but
I go off the one in my email because it's 3 clicks,
yeah.
and I'm lazy.
But yeah. Patrons also get early access to comics, exclusive access to Speedy and Monty comics,
Yeah.
behind the scenes Tales of Jamora content, and more. So,
Yeah.
big shout out and thank you to all of the current patrons. Thank you for your
Woo-hoo.
continued support. And lastly, our opening theme is One Up by Professor Shy Guy. You can find his stuff over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. And with that, we are done. Let's wrap this up and vamos. So, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming and enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.